Felicity Yarn Studio channel. If you're new here, my name is Zoe. It is lovely to meet you. And of course, welcome back to all of my returning viewers. This episode is going to be a little bit of a hybrid, part podcast, part vlog. Jason and I have come down to the Carolina coast this week to spend a few days at the beach. We visited with some family a couple of days ago, and we're heading home tomorrow. So I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys what I've been working on this week and maybe pepper in some kind of vlog footage and give you guys some views of the beach down here in the summertime. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The first thing that I have been working on here is my scrappy socks. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apologize too before I get too far in. Obviously this is not my normal setup, so I'm kind of improvising here. If I miss the camera completely, I apologize. But here we go. These are being knit out of some of the leftover colors that I have from last year's advent calendars that I dyed up, which was crystals and gemstone themed. So I'll save going through all the names of the colors for when I'm done. Hopefully they will be done next week. I have 2 more colors to go after these 2 for the leg and then the cuff and the heel. So I have knit in that gray piece of yarn is for a forethought afterthought heel. I think it's called a forethought when you knit in that piece of yarn. I just find that when I'm doing the heel, it just makes things that much easier, that I don't have to stress about cutting any of my actual like sock knitting. I can just either snip that piece of yarn or start unpicking it from one end after I've picked up all of my stitches. I really love how this color combination is playing off of each other. And when we were visiting family on the first day that we were here, my youngest niece, who's about 6, had requested to learn how to knit. And so when she was really little, I used to babysit, like when she was 2 or 3. And she, of course, saw Aunt Zoe knitting all the time and wanted to learn back then too. So we sat down. I kind of helped her out a few times, and then eventually she pretty much got the the motion down. So I was super proud and just thrilled that she kind of picked it up. I'll put a little clip in of her knitting. So I still had to wrap the yarn for her. She didn't really have the dexterity to like hold it and do the scooping motion, but either way, that still is an amazing accomplishment for a 6-year-old for like 20-30 minutes of sitting down. So she has already requested that I send her a bunch of knitting supplies, and she wants me to make her a shawl and a pair of socks. And then my other niece is still waiting on her pair of socks, so Aunt Zoe has some knitting to do. While we were working on these socks, my other niece and Uncle Jason were building a solar-powered robot thing. I don't know. It was way out of my realm, but entirely his realm. So unfortunately, it wasn't quite sunny enough that day to make it work, but I don't know. Hopefully she learned something. I did have to actually undo some of those stitches that my niece did on this sock, only because obviously the tension wasn't quite right, but I'd only gotten 3 or 4 rows into this section. I had forgotten to
work in my piece of scrap yarn at that point. It was no big deal. I just ripped them out that night and picked my stitches back up and started moving right along again on these socks. I anticipate on the many hours that I will have in the car tomorrow, if not finishing, at least getting like the leg stitches and maybe the cuff done. So for project number 2 that I brought and that I am working on, these are Jason socks. These are in mustache yarn in the Bounty Hunter colorway, which is inspired after Boba Fett. And let's see, on the last podcast, I was about here where the stitch marker is, so I've gotten a couple inches done. And I did try these on him last night, and I think after I finish this green row and then, or this green section, and then another kind of like neutral block, I've got about another inch before I can put in a piece of waist yarn for his socks. But I kind of want to wait until we get home because I do have a previous pair that I made for him there that fits really well. I meant to bring them, but I completely forgot, of course. Who needs wool socks on a summer vacation? Yeah, I want to get those socks and really compare them before I put in that piece for the heel. So that's why I anticipate getting a little bit more done on that first pair of socks on the way home. The third thing that I have been knitting on is my Trescow. So when I pulled this out of my bag, my sister-in-law was like, "You're really gonna wear that color, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yep, sure am." So I've gotten another good 2 or 3 inches done on this as well. This has been really nice to pick up in the evenings here. I have been enjoying this a lot more since I kind of slowed down and gave myself permission to slow down and enjoy this knit. This is, I don't know if I mentioned, this is the Trescow jumper. Now it is written to be a crop top, and I think the length on the schematic was like 9.5 inches. 9.5 inches with the bust size that I have would barely get over the girls. So I went back and I looked at a couple of notes on the sweaters that I really enjoy wearing on Ravelry, and I usually knit about somewhere between 15 and 17 inches for a body. I'm at 12 inches right now. I measured it last night, so I think I'm going to aim for the 15-inch body on this one. It doesn't have to be super long, but I also don't necessarily want it to be cropped either. Maybe just hit kind of at like the top of my hips. So I'm getting there. I think I will have the body of this done pretty quickly. Also, I'm really trying to like be monogamous like all night long when I knit on something. Normally I'm like, do a few rows on one project, do a few rows on another project, and I kind of hop back and forth. But yeah, I'm really trying to dedicate my time to like one project a night. So I did ask you guys on Instagram how many projects you would pack for a 6-day trip, and I gotta say, I don't think I was too far off. I packed 4 projects. Most of y'all were like 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. So I actually need to share those results. I just haven't been on social media a whole lot. I've been trying to enjoy the vacationing aspect of vacation. So anyway, the 4th project that I brought, if you watched the video that Naomi and I did, if you're not familiar, Naomi is my sister. She's the yarn curator. Her and I have been doing kind of once a month video calls and kind of discussing certain aspects about knitting that are maybe a little bit easier to discuss person to person. So this last call was mainly about our knitting fails, but at the beginning of it, we mentioned we're starting a new knit along. It's running through the end of the year. This is going to be a steek along. So I guess it's a knit along and a steek along because technically you have to knit in order to steek. I haven't done one stitch on this shawl since I showed it off on her video. But this is the beginnings of the Woodlark shawl by Fiber Tales. Now I'm actually thinking that I am going to frog this and start over because you're magic looping at the beginning and you're also increasing down the center spine here. I was getting some laddering here, and then I rearranged the stitches and the laddering started again. I don't know what that was. But the laddering started again once I rearranged. So I think I just want to start over and maybe try to pay really close attention to the laddering issue so that I can at least get it where it's large enough to no longer be doing magic loop. So it's on a really long cable right now, even for magic loop. And then, and then the other thing that I kind of meant to do differently was I meant to do purl stitches along the outer edges of my steek stitches. I've not steeked before, Naomi has, so this is completely new to me. I am, however, using non-superwash wool for this, since that is what's recommended for steeks. So for the main color, I just dyed up this kind of like yellowy, greeny gray color, kind of like a putty color. It makes me think of silly putty. And then this one picked up a bunch of mohair in the bag. This is the Winterfell colorway. It is from Mondim, but it's part of the collab that her and Labiana May did a year or two ago. But yeah, it's Winterfell, so I think it's got to be a Game of Thrones colorway. So this will be my main color and this will be my color work. And then I have a bag full of kind of scraps and partial skeins of other non-superwash that I may kind of sprinkle in here and there with the color work just to make it a little bit more interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to take it section by section and yeah, see what comes of that. So that is it for my knitting. I have to say, vacationing during COVID is a little bit weird. Honestly, we've just been going to the beach and coming back. We haven't gone to the pool here in the complex. We're at my mother-in-law's condo, so it's not like we're staying in a hotel either. That's why we felt like this was relatively low risk for us. We've gone to the grocery store 2 times and we've gotten takeout. But other than that, we haven't really been going very many places other than to the beach, which I feel like for the most part, people have been keeping their distance out there. The one place that I did go, of course, I had to go visit a yarn shop. Now, like I said, we're staying at my mother-in-law's place. We've been here many times over the last, I don't know, 5-6 years or so. I don't know how it slipped past me that there's a yarn shop in this town. There is another yarn shop like 30 minutes that way. That's the one that I went to in February, the Salty Sheep in Swansboro. But there's one here in Morehead City as well. So I made Jason take me over there yesterday. First, I picked up this really lovely skein for myself. This is my little souvenir. This is Sheep Dipped Dye Works, and this colorway is Sea Glass. I really love this green here and just the splash blue. It's really gorgeous and right up my alley. I don't know what it'll be. It could always be socks. But I may actually save this to work in a fade or something, maybe as part of some brioche. I don't know. We'll see. It's a nice, really pretty neutral that should work with a lot of things. And the yarn is dyed in New Bern, North Carolina, which is like a 40-minute drive from here. So it's pretty local. Now, I picked up another skein. This is for the 300 subscriber giveaway. This colorway is called Salt Life. And y'all just look at those speckles. So pretty. This nice like tealy blue color. It's very beachy to me. Okay, so here's the thing. Right now, as I'm recording this, I am sitting at 299 subscribers, and this is for 300 subscribers. So I'm going to go ahead and in good faith open up the giveaway for this. So to be entered to win this beautiful skein of yarn, I'll probably also pick out some other goodies and create a little package for the winner. Let's see. Of course, first, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. If you want to turn on notifications, that's awesome too. That way you don't miss any videos. But in the comment box down below, let me know, what is your favorite summertime pastime activity? Is it going to the beach? Is it going to the lake? Cooking s'mores? Catching fireflies? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. I will draw the winner before I record my next video. So yeah, this beautiful skein is up for grabs. So good luck to everyone. I, of course, appreciate everyone who has already subscribed, who, leaves a comment or shares these videos. It really means a lot. I'm only a few weeks away from my 1-year anniversary, which is crazy. It does not feel like I've been at this for a year, and I'm just so thankful for the way that this little community has grown, and I really look forward to sharing more with you guys and kind of documenting my fiber arts process. It's a lot of fun, not gonna lie. So I think that about does it for the chatty part of the video. I think my plan is going to be to kind of pepper in some videos through that last part, but then also to, put whatever vloggy footage at the end that didn't fit in there. Jason brought his drone on the trip, so maybe I can snag some of his drone footage and share some of that with you guys too, because, nerd life. All right, guys, I hope that you are having a happy, healthy, safe summer and that your knitting is behaving. How about that? I will see you guys again soon.